want to welcome all of you. We are, geez, halfway through, more than halfway through the month of May, and many of you are really feeling the solar flares that have been happening. They've been quite powerful over the last week, a couple of times almost hitting an X level, X class flare. And we know that this is doing, it's kind of a double-edged sword, to tell you the truth. It is absolutely part of the ascension process and what is happening with the solar frequencies of light, but it also is working to help dismantle the old binary. And so when these highly seismic and solar events are happening, just remember we are in a continuous parallel, simultaneous experience of unraveling and unlocking the old while simultaneously upgrading and bringing in the new. And so it's really important to understand that all of these things that are happening on a cosmic or planetary or magnetic or solar flare level, they're doing double duty. And we can really feel the effects, many of us. I know that if you're sensitive like I am, you really feel these events in your body because they are affecting the nervous system quite profoundly. And you throw in one of those events around a full moon, and you can really feel the effects in the nervous system and the way that it amplifies what's going on in the nervous system, both for the positive and also for what can be quite challenging for many of us. And so you have to remember that there is so much going on in your physical biology, in your biochemistry, in your bioelectric body that is happening because of all of the magnetic shifts that are going on, and how that affects the nervous system, how that affects our moods, our ability to stay centered, or whether we feel agitated. There's a lot that is happening that a lot of people can't put their finger on. And I want to just encourage you and invite you to, when you get in situations where you feel highly agitated or where you feel just really out of sorts, our first inclination, because of the way that our ego is programmed. And yes, we all still have ego going on. We have not unwritten the total program of the ego. But what happens is the ego will try to place blame. And many of us continue to first and foremost go, what's wrong with me? Right? The internal blaming goes on, something's wrong with me. And I'm going to invite you to maybe make some notes around the house, post-it notes or whatever, that when that happens, first and foremost, go in and recognize that there are external factors in the magnetics that are affecting your biology in ways that we really don't even have adequate science to explain. And so instead of going into there's something wrong with me or what's happening, why is everybody so ornery? Why am I so agitated? Why does nothing seem to be working? Instead, go within and recognize that these cosmic and electromagnetic influences are often what is behind the spiked agitation or not feeling well. Or, oh my gosh, I know last week with that solar flare, I was dizzy. I could barely walk. I was holding on to the walls as I was walking across my house. And it took me a minute to go, oh my gosh, what's going on? Has the Schumann resonance spiked? Has there been a solar flare? And I've learned, and I'll forget upon occasion as well, but for the most part, I've learned to go see, okay, what's going on the planet? Has there been a solar flare? Has there been an earthquake? I can feel earthquakes in my body. And I know when they're happening, but then I never put two and two together. Oftentimes I'll go, oh, there's something wrong with me. Why can't I function right? Blah, blah. It's always first we go into the internal. And I just really want to invite you to remember all of the profound things that are happening that are affecting us. And then let's just move that one more level. It's affecting everyone, whether they're aware of it or not. Just because you are actively aware of and part of the consciousness that is waking up and understand ascension, boy, oh boy, your coworkers don't have a clue what's going on. The people at the grocery store, right? The people you interact with, yet they are also being bombarded with all of this cosmic influences, and they don't have a clue, and they don't have the skill set, and they don't have the awareness to be able to drop into their heart and recenter. They don't have the awareness that, oh my gosh, my nervous system is really getting affected by this. So let me go in and drop into my heart, and let's run some calming energy through the nervous system. They don't have the awareness and the tools to do that. But we do. And so it's a matter of really remembering. It's a matter of the minute you get out of sorts on any level, to drop back into your heart, come into the present moment. And rather than the old looping programs of our ego that take us into our mind and that you're doing something wrong or blaming someone else, you can drop in and understand what is happening to your biology to bring upon these physical and emotional states of what we would refer to as stress. And so to be aware of that, and on top of all of those other natural, organic solar flares and the shift in the Schumann resonance, you also have to remember that there is a lot of inorganic that is playing out, manipulative energy in the magnetics. We are still trying to unravel the impacts of the magnetic force from the moon. We have microwaves and satellites and EMFs and all kinds of things that are also bombarding our system. And more are becoming aware of those, not understanding them completely, but aware. So your ability to drop into your heart or come into your heart, whether it's up, down, from the side, I always say drop, but come into your heart and put up a shielding, right? That we've always been working with, clearing the fields, putting up a beautiful insulation for yourself so that those inorganic fields of energy have a smaller impact. And really understanding the magnitude of the forces that are really doing everything possible to keep the status quo. And we talk about the quantum dark, we talk about the inverted, everything is source at its core, but there definitely is a push-pull that is happening, a conflict, if you will, where the inorganic does not want the change to happen. And so the closer we get to unlocking some of the biggest containers of the light architecture, the stronger the push to keep that from happening. And so we have the awareness, we just have to put it into play. We have the skill sets and the tools. We all have tons of tools in our toolbox that we've learned over all of these years of playing with energy. Just remember to bring them out and actually utilize them, because we're getting bombarded 24/7, 365 right now with the organic and the inorganic. And our systems are doing the very best possible to maintain and to continue to upgrade and to be able to thrive. Some of us feel like we're just surviving. And ultimately, we will be thriving. But right now, as we have, all you have to do is turn on more of the news. We know that things are escalating on many different fronts. The fear propaganda is continuing and in many ways getting stronger. And we just have to really understand the bigger picture and get out of our own. Sometimes we have to step out of our human lives and our human me, and see the bigger picture of what's playing out. And then step back into the high heart, into the sovereignty of who we are, knowing that this is absolutely an inside job, but that we can counteract some of the more inorganic energies that are coming our way. And the awareness of that, and the awareness that we have with the tools and the skills, can be a game changer. And it's just about getting out of the mundane routine, always letting the ego have the first go about of, oh man, why is everybody so snippety today? And then recognize and build those shields. Send love and light to everyone around you. They're getting hit and they haven't got a clue, have no idea why they're so agitated or irritated, right? And so that's the way we can be in some of the very highest level service. First and foremost, to get ourselves centered, to get ourselves really in our heart and stabilized, and then to send out beautiful, loving compassion and light to everyone around us. And I can guarantee, if you work in a office situation or if you are around a lot of people, if you start playing with that, if you really, I'm going to do an experiment. Let's see. If I spend the next 5 minutes blasting everyone with compassion and love and light, can I feel a difference? Do they shift for a bit? That's not going to be an end all be all, because everyone is, it's an inside job. Everyone's responsible for themselves. But you will start to be able to see the direct reflection in your environment if you can stay in that being centered and actually allow the light and the love and the compassion for all these beautiful beings that haven't got a clue what's happening to them. And you'll really start to find you have a much bigger impact, and your ability to stay in the heart, and your ability to not jump to the ego allowing the narrative, but your high heart to flow that narrative. You will find massive shifts start to begin in your outer reality, because we are the way showers. We are those that have the awareness, as long as we put it into play, as long as we don't get into our autopilot and just run through the day and allow the old programming to constantly be there first. And so I just invite you to really, we think we have it down, we think we will remember, but I can guarantee you, if you put some notes up, put some reminders, you'll notice how often you forget because they're trying. I mean, the energies that are coming at us are doing everything possible to take us off kilter, to keep us from being centered. It's not that we just don't remember. There's literally energetics out there that are doing everything to topple us over and out of our state of centeredness and being connected. And so strengthen those skill sets, strengthen those tools, bring them out and do them and play with them in your outer reality and see how much of a positive influence you can have.